Greetings, dear viewers, and welcome to another eye-rolling edition. It seems now that the gender agenda has become a global pandemic. We see it sprouting up, its viral stupidity across the world. I'm going to start by talking first about the UK and how there's a court battle that's attempting to get a X on British passports. This article comes from everyone's favourite cuck outlet, The Independent, and the title reads, UK passports should offer gender-neutral option X, urge LGBT campaigners. UK passports should give the option for people to define themselves as gender-neutral X as an alternative to male or female, campaigners have urged. LGBT rights group Stonewall has called for the measure to be introduced, warning that many people who define themselves as transgender in the UK are afraid to travel abroad because they fear intrusive questions at passport control. The group made the call as part of a 5-year plan launched on Wednesday with the aim of creating equality for transgender people in Britain, of whom there are an estimated 650,000. First of all, 650,000. That number seems a bit steep. Secondly, the idea of transgender, it's prefixed with trans, meaning from one place to the other. When we talk about transport, it's taking us, as many say, from A to B. We are moving from one point to another. A transgender person is moving from their born sex to the sex that their brain makes them feel like. To alleviate it, they undergo gender reassignment surgery. Anyone in between who claims to be non-gender conforming, agender, demigender, take your pick, are just being fashionable. What we used to know as androgynous. David Bowie was androgynous. He never considered himself to be gender queer or gender non-conforming. He was still a man. Just having a bit of gender-bending clothing is not enough for these types anymore.
No, gender is not disconnected from sex, so...
It's not completely disconnected, but it's still a cultural thing, it's still from society, it's
okay, no, it is not in the mind, okay? You're not a man if you think you're a man. And I didn't say pretending, or if I did, I shouldn't have said pretending, let me amend.
You said playing.
Okay, I said a boy who thinks he's a girl. That's the usual phraseology I use. Not playing, I usually say a boy who thinks he's a girl or a girl who thinks he's a boy, which is technically what we're talking about here. As far as the actual psychological issues at play, it used to be called gender dysphoria or gender identity disorder, now they call it gender dysphoria. The idea that sex or gender are malleable is not true. Okay, and I'm not denying your humanity if you're a transgender person. I am saying that you are not the sex to which you claim to be. Why aren't you 60? Why aren't you 60?
Because
And why can't you identify as 60? What is the problem with you identifying as 60?
it's not the same as gender, you can't just...
You're right, age is significantly less important than gender.
Stonewall warns that transgender people can face unnecessary obstacles in everyday situations because of the way gender is recorded on official documents and the processes in place to change recorded gender, including the use of gender markers on passports. The report states, many trans people are afraid to travel abroad for fear of intrusive questioning or difficulties at passport control. Now that may be an issue and it may be uncomfortable, but depending on the country you're travelling to, let's be honest, that could be the least of your problems. If you're travelling to a non-LGBT friendly country, should you really be there, putting yourself in danger? Bex Stinson, head of trans inclusion at Stonewall, said of the passport proposal, limiting passports' gender markers to male and female often presents hurdles for trans people and can lead to them choosing not to travel at all. The problem is, passports are a document cement who you are to air traffic control and airport staff and the crew on an aeroplane, because an aeroplane is a very heavy object made of steel, flying at high speed, tens of thousands of feet in the air, carrying hundreds of people. They need to take serious security measures, because we all know what happens when those measures fail. 9/11, Lockerbie. You can't just toy around with these things when it comes to transporting that many people en masse across the world up in the air. Moving on, the Boy Scouts of America announced plans to broadly accept girls, marking a historic shift for the century-old organisation and setting off a debate about where girls better learn how to be leaders. The Boy Scouts, which has seen dwindling membership numbers in recent decades, said that its programs could nurture girls as well as boys, and that the switch would make life easier for busy parents who might prefer to shuttle children to a single organisation regardless of gender. The decision was celebrated by many women, but criticised by the Girl Scouts, who said that girls flourish in all female groups. As far as this is concerned, I'm not too bothered. The only thing that bothers me is, are the Girl Scouts having to adopt the same standard? I seriously doubt that. They're not going to start letting boys into the Girl Scouts. Other than that, I don't see why there is Boy and Girl Scouts. Should just be Scouts, if you ask me.
Is this made from real lemons? Yes. I only like all natural foods and beverages, organically grown, with no preservatives. Are you sure they're real lemons? Yes. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll buy a cup if you buy a box of my delicious Girl Scout cookies. Do we have a deal? Are they made from real Girl Scouts?
We go from rather a simplistic non-issue to something outrageously stupid. And what nation, viewers, do you think this outrageously stupid thing is from? That's right, Sweden.
Ooh, so tolerant.
Outraged woman crusades against dog patriarchy. Yes, you heard that right. Dog patriarchy. Stockholm dog owner Carola Castman is advocating for a female-only dog run. She claims her puppy, Coco, and other female dogs can't visit dog runs when they are in heat without being attacked. Her proposal has sparked a minor uproar in the Swedish capital. Artist Carola Castman, owner of 5-month-old Border Collie Doberman Rottweiler mix Coco, thinks it's downright discriminatory that pups like hers are barred from Stockholm's dog runs for the roughly 3 months per year they are menstruating. Dogs are beings that act on instinct, so when a boy dog smells a bitch in heat, they're going to go after her. If he's not been neutered and she's not been spayed, things are likely to happen. And believe it or not, Ms. Castman, a female dog may even instigate the mating. Castman says, "I could never have believed that patriarchy had entered the dog parks," she tells Stockholm Direct. "This is a major political issue. I will not be happy until there's at least one sex-separated dog run for female dogs in every neighbourhood."
You went full retard, man. Never go full retard.
How the fuck is this a political issue? In fact, it's an issue of your irresponsibility. Her dog, Coco, at the age she is too young to be spayed. I personally think at 5 months, she's probably too young to be on season. But regardless of that, you're irresponsible for taking your dog out on season and not expecting a reaction.
Here, girl. Sorry, I thought I smelled cookies.
Wow, does it really smell like Oh, God, she farted and it went down my throat.
Because if your dog is on season at that age, it's very dangerous for her health if something should happen. Your irresponsibility is once again being foisted upon wider society. You can't think, I'll keep my dog indoors for a few weeks until this season is over, and then I'll get her spayed when she's old enough. This is the whole thing of SJWs. They don't want responsibility for anything. They want society to look after them. Well, sometimes I'm afraid you've got to take responsibility for yourself. And continuing with dogs trying to become the new victims of the patriarchy. This is an article for the Daily Mail. Has political correctness gone barking mad? See what they did there. Academics claim sexism is turning dogs crazy because pooches struggle to meet gender stereotypes.
Never go full retard.
Academics Paul McGreevy and Fiona Probyn-Rapsey say sexism is harming dogs. Professors from Sydney and Wollongong universities slam gender expectations. They argue owners' gender identities are affecting the behaviour of canines. Ex-Labour leader Mark Latham accused them of imposing radical gender theories. Well, I agree with him. There is no gender stereotypes on dogs. Dogs have differing personalities and they have differing biological sexes. That's about it. There are no gender stereotypes. Most people treat their dogs nicely. Some arseholes treat their dogs badly. That's about the long and short of it. It's coming to something when feminists and SJW academics are literally now trying to impose their ideology upon nature.
Excedrin headache number 1, puppy mill. Ah, damn. Hey, does anyone here have thumbs? Anyone? No? Sorry, I don't play. Hey, come on, knock it off. Hey, how's the flow today?
We've seen something close to this in the hashtag science must fall ridiculousness. Science is still a process of investigation and study carried about by humans. Its subject may be nature, but humans practice it. This is actually trying to influence nature itself. To an extent, gender is a social construct in the way we behave and dress, but stereotypes exist for a reason. There's no smoke without fire. Stereotypes are often exaggerated aspects of traits. Those traits are still grounded in something, regardless. And whether these ideologues like it or not, that's not going to change. Well, it's one thing to try and heap gender ideology upon unresponsive animals, but it's even more stupid to try and shoehorn it into fictional characters. The new head of the UK Fire Service, Danny Cotton, saying that cartoon character Fireman Sam says it's time to rebrand the cartoon show as Firefighter Sam. The fire chief told ITV that there is no such thing as a fireman anymore, and said that 35 years after the first female firefighter joined her force, it's time to shake off outdated language. Well, there is such a thing as a fireman, and there is such a thing as a firewoman. Firefighter is just a more convenient term to describe the person who works for the fire service, but they are still male or female. Danny Cotton, the new and first female chief of the UK Fire Service, goes on to say, I have actually written to the makers of Fireman Sam and asked them on his 30th birthday to consider renaming him Firefighter Sam to join in on the inclusive nature, she said. She does have positives to say. I like the concept. I like the fact that it's a cartoon that educates people and helps children learn about the dangers of fire. So it's nice to know she's not entirely useless in her appointment as fire chief.
Dear Lord, may your loving hand guide Homer to the mattress square and true.
But I do wonder, is this a meritocratic thing, or has Ms. Cotton been awarded the position because of what's between her legs in affirmative action?
Now, I'm going to ask you, David, why, when there are 3 other forklift operators, do you decide to fire me and not Anton? You know, is this positive discrimination? Is it, do you have disability quotas you have to fill?
I don't know what you mean.
Well, are you keeping Anton on because he's disabled?
Anton's not disabled.
He's a midget, David.
Yeah, but you're not disabled if you're a midget, are you? That's not a disability, that's just small.
Yeah, I know.
Ronnie Corbett doesn't get special treatment, does he?
Ronnie Corbett's 5 foot. Anton's 3'4".
So are some children. Children don't get special favours. Children aren't disabled, are they?
Well, children don't work in warehouses.
Look, whether or not Anton is indeed a midget or a dwarf...
No, he's a midget.
What's the difference?
Well, a dwarf is someone who has disproportionately short arms and legs.
Oh, I know the ones.
Yeah. It's caused by a hormone deficiency.
Yeah, bloody hormones. Yeah.
A midget is still a dwarf, but their arms and legs are in proportion.
Sure.
So, what's an elf?
Do you want to answer that?
An elf is a supernatural being. Sometimes they're invisible, they're like fairies.
They don't actually exist, do they? In real life? What do you want me to... Do you think I enjoy doing this? This has been imposed upon me.
This has been imposed upon me. This has been imposed upon me.
Yeah, it has. Yeah. What do you want me to say? Oh, I'm sorry, that'll give you a job back.
I want you to say you're sorry.
Yeah.
I want you to apologise and stop passing the buck.
I'm not passing the buck. This is someone else's decision. I didn't want to do this. You know, go above my head if you don't believe me. But
I will go above your head.
Fine, good luck. It's your prerogative.
Yeah, it is.
But,
yeah, it is. Yeah, it's my prerogative. Yeah.
So, is a pixie the same thing as an elf?
Hold on, Gareth.
What? I just want to know how come he knows so much about midgets.
It's called an education.
So what's a goblin?
How long are you going to be, mate?
Because the sheer stupidity of what she's saying here and the sheer stupidity of the fact that it's broadcast on national news worries me. This is what the West has come to, especially several months after in London there was a disastrous fire in the Grenfell Tower. And yes, the firefighters did an exemplary job, but with budget cuts still a reality, who gives a fuck about what Fireman Sam is called? Really, especially if you're the chief of the British Fire Service, you really shouldn't give a toss. But anyway, what do you people think? Please comment below and please remember to like, share and subscribe. And remember, don't roll your eyes too much. They may fall out of your head.